Welcome to the Temple of Surf, the podcast. Before we dive into today's episode, I want to share something close to my heart. We just launched the Temple of Surf apparel line. T-shirt, hoodies, caps and more, all inspired by the spirit of surfing and the stories we celebrate here. And if you have little ones who love the ocean, don't miss out our children book series available now on Amazon. Fun adventure about surfing, friendship and the sea. By supporting the books and apparel, you're also supporting the podcast and helping us to keep the surf culture alive for future generations. Mahalo! Welcome to a new episode of the Temple of Surf, the podcast. Today, we have the pleasure of talking with Ricky Blake, surf artist, educator, and curator based in Huntington Beach, California. Ricky's work captures the timeless beauties of surfing in a deep connection with Californian coastal heritage. With a background in fine arts and a passion for surf culture, he paints historic surf scene, preserving the stories of the ocean and the pioneers who shaped it. Beyond his art, Ricky is on the board of directors of the Huntington Beach International Surfing Museum, where he curates the Surf Art Corner and keeps alive the creative spirit of surf history. In our conversation, we'll dive into Ricky's artistic journey, his love for surf history, and the inspiration behind his paintings that bridge the past and the present. Whether you're a surfer, an art lover, or someone who cherishes the culture of the ocean, this episode will inspire you. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this ride with Ricky Blake. Welcome, Mr. Blake. Welcome to the show. Where are you today?
I'm in Huntington Beach in my house in the morning here and enjoying the summertime.
That's good. Is the summer time okay over there? There are some waves coming, or how is it?
Yeah, it's actually been pretty good run of swell here. And then funny enough, I just went to Waco, Texas to go surfing in Texas to the wave pool there in Waco, and just was there for 3 days, and now back here, and my legs are tired, man. There's so many waves there. I mean, it's not natural. You get about 20 or more waves an hour, and we did it for three hours in one day. Took a break in between, but I mean, I think I got like 60 waves yesterday or something.
Okay, not bad. Not bad.
Be fun.
What's the price for one session over there?
Well, it depends. We went with a group, and you rent out the whole pool, and so you get a better deal, and you get more time, and so we rented out the whole place. I'm not sure of the exact expense. You got to talk to this guy Ted Lee, put it together, and he gets a deal. So, but I think you could do it for I think it's $150 if you just go for an hour and go there, something like that.
$150, 20 waves is okay. You know, here luckily we have the surf pool of Kelly Slater in Abu Dhabi, but it's 5 wave for $500. So it's $100 per wave.
Yeah, well, I mean, that wave is totally different. It's a long wave, and no, I think it's how you look at it, you know.
The way I look at it is that if I make a mistake on one wave, it costs me $100. So
I know that it's a lot of pressure.
Yeah, exactly. Well, today we're gonna talk about not the surf pool, but it was interesting to start with that. We talk about surf and art, which is something that went together since the beginning of time of surfing. You know, there are a lot of boards that have pieces of art in it, but not only surf posters, surf concerts, a lot of things, you know, like that have been kind of contaminated by art and vice versa. So, which is great. But the first question that I ask everyone on the show, and I ask also you, is what is the most important thing in surfing for you?
Well, the most important, I think there's so many things, but I think the most important thing is to just understand the power of surfing. There's the power of surfing, and to be able to surf as long as you can, and to just take advantage of surfing, that power, the feeling you get from surfing as long as you can. And then expand on that power of surfing into other things, like what you're saying, like into art, into writing, whatever kind of other things that you're interested in, you can go and use that with surfing. So let's say you like to read, you read, or then maybe you like to write, you write about surfing, or maybe you like to do art, you do art about surfing, or you just like to surf and just surf as long as you can. And then it's so like I have a lot of friends who, I think it makes you live longer. It's like the fountain of youth, really. I mean, I don't know if anybody's really, there's no way to really to explain it, but people who can surf for a really long time, they stay young. And then as soon as you're too old to surf, you just keep, watching movies on surf. You do other things that have to do with surfing that you're interested in. You keep doing it. You keep hanging out with friends that you used to surf with. You tell stories about when you used to surf. That feeling, you keep that feeling going. That first wave that you got when you were a kid or when you first surfed, you keep that vibe, that power for your whole life. And I think it's different than any other activity, any other sport or whatever, because it's like that power of the energy of surfing. I don't know, I can't really describe it, but you can tell a surfer when you see them. Usually, they just have a different vibe about them. They have that power, the surf power.
Definitely. I totally relate to that. So first of all, because I'm doing a podcast, so you were saying, you do surfing, you talk about surfing, you watch surfing, you do whatever surfing related. And this for me is an opportunity to talk about surf every day. Even if I live in a country where there is no surf every day, I can do surf every day, and it is so interesting and keeps me motivated and going. And as well, I like this idea of having this kind of fountain of youth related to surfing, because in effect, it is true, that in surfing and also in life, I'm thinking about, I don't know, my grandfather is 93 and every day he goes to work, he is on a garage shop and he keeps him alive, right? I think about all those people that maybe they retire, and there are those sad stories. That guy retired and the day of retire, he died in the
Yeah,
couch watching TV.
yeah. You got to keep going. You got to keep your body going and have a purpose. And there's something even more about the ocean. And you're doing exercise. You're keeping your body moving. But there's something even more about surfing. It just keeps you at a really. I mean, there's some guys that are like 75, 80 years old that I know that still surf, and they're so young. I hope I can be like that.
Yes, definitely. Definitely. There is like maybe it's the salty water that preserve us in a
Yeah, yeah,
yeah. Well, we have to fight the pollution still in the water, but the saltiness of the water is like a good remedy for a lot of things. Uh,
yeah.
it makes our skin glow better. I don't know.
It does. Yeah, cleans out your skin for sure. It's a good it's a good thing for kids going through puberty, and when when it clears their acne. It really does.
Yeah, pharmaceutical industry will be against this because then they will stop selling all those creams and stuff. But nevertheless, yes, more people stuck on surfing definitely is great. And as well, like it's true from a storytelling perspective that no matter the age, no matter who we are, where we come from, when we are, let's say, listening to surf stories, we're kind of living these surf stories together with the person that speaks about them, right? Like let's say the first wave, that we catch, it's always like interesting. And while the person is playing, we are in a certain way living the same kind of imagining what happened. So
Yeah.
being on the same, let's say, sound length or in the same topic, I'm very curious about the best wave of your life.
Oh, the best wave. Well, it's really hard. Well, for me, it's like I think maybe it's the people that are around me make it a better wave. I went to Cabo San Lucas in the '90s, and it was kind of like a long time before a lot of things were built up there. So we're on the very tip, and there's these other spots that are away from the main city called shipwrecks and Nine Palms. And so you got to go down this dirt road, and we had all my buddies, and we heard about this surf spot called Nine Palms, and the waves were good. And this, so you're on the inside of the Cape, so you're around the tip, and it doesn't often come in there. It has to be a real good south swell. And we come to this first spot called Shipwrecks, and we had been there before, but we heard about this other spot further on, and it's down this, just a little dirt road. And I was telling my friend we had a Volkswagen bus. Let's go, keep going. Let's keep going and check it out. Because there's a few guys at Shipwrecks. Let's keep going. Let's check out Nine Palms. And a few guys were like, no, let's just stay here. But we just went for it. We kept going. And it was a little ways. And then we come around the corner. Like we almost turned back because weren't sure where it was. And there's somebody like, let's go back to Shipwrecks. And I'm, well, let's come on. We got to at least just check it. And we come to, I mean, it was like the glorious scene. Like we come around the corner, nine palm trees, and you come around and perfect rights are coming into this, like it's a point, and these dolphins are riding the waves. That's it. We saw the dolphins jumping, riding the waves. And it was all, just the stoke level. I mean, we're just like, couldn't get our boards out of the bus fast enough, running out there. And seriously, we had, I mean, perfect rights, maybe about head high. And I remember one wave, and you're getting hoots from your friends. Just one of those perfect scenes, and one could never happen again, probably because now way more people live down there, and it's all those spots are always going to be crowded. So yeah, that was it for me.
Nice. Well, it's interesting though the fact that there is always like a surf spot that everybody talks about, but nobody is able really to reach, right? And it gives a different flavor to the trip, right? Because there is a discovery, there is this anxiety of just losing time
Yeah,
trying to find the spot, and then finally when you find it, like can't believe, and then
yeah, that's like a dream.
becomes secret, like you will not tell to anybody.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, nobody would believe it, and then yeah, you can't just find it. You got to just next time somebody, like a lot of times people would be down there and they don't go that far just because it's a little bit harder and they're not sure. That element of discovery is kind of, it's an amazing part of surfing too, because there's still spots out there that people have never found. There's a lot of places in the world that there's spots just sitting there being unridden. It's pretty crazy.
and so tell us about yourself. Like, of course, you are an artist. How this, let's say, characteristic of you, quality of you, okay, how do you discover that? You were just good in making sketches or drawing, and then something like that. You discovered when you were young, when you were little. It came later in your life. How did it work?
Well, yeah, I always liked to draw when I was a kid, and I would just draw things that I was interested in, and then when I grew up, and I'm starting to surf, I would like to just draw waves and do surf drawings, surf paintings and things. And then I went to college, and I'm like, what am I going to do? What are you going to do for a major? And I like drawing, so I wanted to be an architect. But then in order to do that, you had to take drawing classes as an architect. And my first class was a life drawing class, and I just was really good. I really liked it. I did really good in that class. The other architect classes were kind of, I don't know, I didn't like it as much. And then the painting instructor it was at Cal State Long Beach. They're like, you should try out for the drawing and painting degree. Try out for that major, and I applied, and I got in. And then I changed my major, and then that's all you do in that major is paintings, big paintings. And I was like, I'm going to do surf stuff. And so I started doing like more ocean surf scenes with people because they like the whole thing at Cal State Long Beach is a lot of figure painting, and you learn about how to draw the figure. And so I mixed figure painting and figure drawing into surf scenes, and really big. And it was the best experience. I still look back and just how great it was. Big paintings, 6 foot, 8 foot paintings of just I'm just painting surfing and doing scenes with people and trying to make like a story with the things. And anyway, that's what really got me into it. And I just kept going from there. I was working at Billabong and then turned into Hurley, and I was starting to sell paintings to people there. And Bob Hurley really helped me out by like buying a huge painting. It was 11-foot painting,
Wow.
and that just kept me like knowing, oh, I can actually make money doing this. And then the word spread with people at there and Hurley and then around, and so that's what got me started. That was in the early 2000s or the late 1900s.
A long time ago. Uh, so, but it's super nice that a person like Bob Harley believes in you and gives you a chance to buy something from you. Okay, gives you money, but I think from a money perspective, there are a lot of ways to make money. But I think more than money gives you courage, right? It gives you injection of confidence, which is fantastic.
Yeah, it was more than the money. Really, for me, it wasn't that much that I'm getting money. It's more that, oh, people want my paintings, and people would talk about my paintings. I'd see people and they'd say, oh, I want to get a painting, and and it just goes from there where I'm just doing it, and I just love doing it, and then I'm just kind of changing how I'm doing it, changing my style and learning more. And with art, for me, I can just seem like I just keep evolving and figuring out new ways of doing things. And I really like art history. I mean, surf history, or I like art history too. But I like all kind of history. I don't know why I'm really like a freak on history, but with surf history, I like trying to mix, history of surfing into art and capturing things that we've seen before or things we know about art, about surf history, and then putting it into a painting and changing it and bringing back things from our past in surf history into a color painting that, you know, would never be before. It's only in our mind or in a story, but you can bring it back in a painting.
Ah, definitely. I think it's powerful. I think I saw the one in your Instagram with Barry Kanapuni, right?
Yeah.
Actually, like because we see these things in pictures, right? And most of the picture of those times were like black and white.
Yeah.
And so seeing it transformed into something in color in a different medium, from picture to painting, from black and white to color, it gives like a totally different perspective of things, right? It's like it allows us to live it again in a different way, which is interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, with that one, it's amazing because he was getting inducted into the Surfing Walk of Fame this year, and immediately I think to that big bottom turn that he did, a powerful bottom turn, and there's a black and white picture by Art Brewer, and I wanted to redo that picture, that painting, but do it in color. And then I found another photo by Jeff Devine where Jeff Devine has a close-up shot of BK where you really see his style and how he dug his rail and his where his arm is, everything. It's so with surfing, with doing any style of a surfer in history or even in modern times, surfers know exactly who that surfer is by their style. It's really important as an artist to get it right. You can look at an image and you know exactly what surfer that is from a distance because you know the style. and you throw like a one finger off in the wrong direction, and it's not that person anymore. I mean, it's there's a great photo of Sam Hawk that was in a cover of Surfer Mag in the early '70s, and he's got his fingers in a certain way where he's got it's separated. He's got the finger jive, his style. It's a back doorway, I'm pretty sure. I mean, when I did that one, I love looking at images. There's images of these great surfers, and you have to, if you just do a little bit off, a little bit the arm, just even a millimeter off, it changes the whole thing. It's just such a trip how that is.
No, I guess there is like a visual reference of people, but need to be also expert, in recognizing and recognize every single surfer. But I think there are like some surfers, like you said, that are super iconic, and then it's quite easy to understand who's portrayed, and it's fantastic, like how different medium can communicate different things, from a static maybe perspective of photography that static is not anyway. Jeff Devine of Art Brewer will be very upset if to hear that, but there is a dynamism even in photography, and of course the painting, because of the medium of the strokes of the brush. It's very dynamic by essence. Like you see a painting, it's already a dynamic thing. So it's interesting the way you not transform but translate maybe the photography into paint. And actually, I was thinking another thing that is I think is very important when we go back to Bob Harley or to anybody, even not let's say known or famous, that buys your art or somebody else's art, is the fact that we as surfers, we like to support each other. We go back to support your local surf shop, right? And that kind of community that is very close to each other, and they rather prefer to put maybe something from an artist in their house about surf than to buy, I don't know, a poster of a movie or something else, maybe decorative, because there is a connection with that community and a willingness of preserve, no,
Yeah,
which we cannot find it anywhere else. It's like very rare. Do you feel
yeah. Well,
people that you're talking with every day that they support your art, they love your art? Do you feel that, or
oh yeah. Well, there's so many. I'm so lucky. I have so many great friends, and so many people give me props and tell me how much they love seeing my art, and also I'm really into history, so I like writing about it, and I'm kind of doing a lot of different things, but I'm interested in doing like a story, like, and then doing a painting that goes with it. Sometimes it's historical, or sometimes it's just a made up story, or something that I remember from a trip. But I'm putting writing also is it's a really good creative outlet when you're a surfer, to go back and remember things. And I like to also, like kind of exactly what you're doing, is talk to people who have stories from the old days, or from the '70s or '60s, and then get those stories about it, and then write, because a lot of times there's stories out there, and if you don't ask the questions, or you don't get the story from them, those stories are going to just be disappearing. So I like to kind of combine it with you write it, and then do a painting or a drawing to go with it. And I have a lot of this stuff, and I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I think maybe what I should do is try to put it together in a book or something, but I'm just kind of all over the place. But I need to get more organized.
yes? Well, definitely you should write a book about it, because those are the things that stays, like a painting or manuscript or something. It's those are the things that can stay and can get shared to the new generations, which is it's important. And in your opinion, what is in talking about surf art at large, what's your favorite piece of surf art ever done? Do you have?
Oh, well, it's got to be. Well, for me, it's Rick Griffin.
Yeah, of course.
He, I mean, ever since I was a kid, I was looking at his art in mags and cartoons and stuff. But I think for me, the one that really stands out is there's a painting he did, like Chingadera. It's like a big card. It's like a comic, but it's so detailed, and it's about going a Mexico trip. And oh my gosh, just total genius. Rick Griffin was just on that next level, total genius. He had his own style, and then he had his ability to draw and get things with just black line and shading with different lines that it's just incredible. And I don't think anybody has ever been like that before. I mean, since. And he's just he's inspired so many artists. My buddy Roy Gonzalez, who's a really, really good artist, he got to hang out with him in San Clemente before Rick Griffin passed, and he totally has that style. He's a really good artist himself, but he's taken that Rick Griffin style and made his own out of it. Yeah, that would be. I love looking at Rick. There's so many great artists in surf right now. Phil Roberts also. I'm really lucky. I get to work with Phil Roberts because I'm helping the Huntington Beach Surfing Museum, and we have a surf art corner where it's all surf artists, and so I'm just asking people that I know and friends, and Phil is one of them who is putting his art in there, and we'll have an exhibit or whatever's coming up. And Phil, I mean, it's so incredible for me to be able to say, oh yeah, hey Phil, we're doing this, and he'll bring in a painting that has to do with an exhibit, and it's Phil Roberts. He's like the guy that I looked up to, and when the '80s, when I was, just a young kid, liking to draw in there, and he'd be on the cover of Surfer Mag with Mark Richards, Shane Horan following, but like all these details of people that you totally recognize. I may ask him to put art in a museum. I mean, it's kind of surreal for me. But what we're doing at the museum is I'm also working with PT with Peter Townend in the Surf Museum, and we're doing a thing that's you would dig. We'll come up with an exhibit idea like a history of something. The one is in there right now is the history of the Juka Hanamoko and how he got surfing into the Olympics. And what we did was, what we're doing every time now is there's different sections of history, different time periods, and we ask surf artists, to represent those different time periods. PT writes the history, and then we get an artist to represent it in their own way with art. And so it's art and history about surfing together. And we've been doing that for about 4 exhibits, and we have a new one coming up that's going to be the 50 years of professional surfing. So, and again, it'll be different sections of time. We'll have artists representing each section, and you know how artists are all different. So it's really a dynamic type of exhibit because it's all different and it's history, but every artist has their own style, and it's just like all over the place. It's really cool.
Hi, we'll get back to the conversation in just a moment, but I would like to remind you that the Temple of Surf is more than a podcast. We created an apparel line inspired by surf culture, from tees and hoodies to caps, so you can carry the spirit of the ocean wherever you go. And if you have kids, check out our surf-inspired children book series on Amazon, fun stories that bring the magic of the sea to life for young readers. By supporting these projects, you're helping us keep surf culture alive and growing. Now, let's get back to the show.
Yes, in fact, I'm bummed that I'm not living over there because I would love to see all these exhibitions. But luckily, with Instagram, maybe I can see some walls here and there, and enlarge the images in order to see better. But there are so many things you said that are like quite they're resonating quite a lot with me. So first of all, Rick Griffin, of course, so eclectic artist, because at the same time you see like I don't know, the cartoon on with the Greg Noll, let's say, that kind of things, and then you see the psychedelic aspects with the music, and then you see those I think were in Surface Journal, like a kind of I don't know how to say in English, were like drawings, like telling stories,
Yeah.
yeah, what you were saying about the shades of black, I
Yeah.
super super interesting and relevant till today, and then you have like people, of course, that copy, because every big artist is copied largely, but also what is maybe more important, more powerful, is influencing the style of other artists, like your friend or other artists all over the world, that are like taking inspiration sometimes from Rick Griffin without even knowing who
Yeah.
with it's. And then, of
Well,
course, Phil Roberts. Well, I had the opportunity to have him on the podcast. Fantastic person, first of all, and artist. Like my dream is one day, if ever will be in the market, to have one of those trophies that he did for the Pipe Master. Like
oh my gosh.
those are
I know.
epic.
I know. He did. He, what a great thing when he did all the Pipe Master boards, when he's doing those. Jerry Lopez, first of all, it's a shape by Jerry Lopez, and then he paints it differently each time. I mean, it's those things. I mean, it's like it's a full-on masterpiece in our time.
Exactly.
They'll always be that they could be in the Smithsonian one day. I mean, they're just amazing.
Yeah, like by all means, for me, I like it's a masterpiece, as you said. Jerry Lopez, Phil Roberts, for a Pipe Master one by Kelly Slater. Uh, that's it. What else you want?
I know. Come on, it's incredible.
Very well, exactly. Now, and then when you start to talk about Olympics, like I was hoping to see Huntington Beach as a city chosen for the LA Olympics, and then it ended up being a Lower Terrace that actually is not in LA as well, right? It's in San Diego. So I was like, how did you guys leave these news? I guess it was pretty up.
Oh, well, I'm kind of like right in the middle, like involved with it all, because we're part of this. I'm part of the Surf Museum. I'm on the board of directors for the Huntington Beach Surf Museum, and it would have been, of course, an amazing thing to have the Olympics in Huntington Beach. And I was always kind of wondering what was going to happen, because I know that lower trestles is a way better wave for, and they do a lot of big contests there, for the WSL. But I just thought they wouldn't do it there because there's no infrastructure, there's no place for people to be set up around there. But I guess we'll see how they do it. It's going to be interesting to see how they set it up. But what we're doing for the museum is we're just like, well, these millions of people are going to be coming down for the Olympics to San Clemente, so we're making the museum, we're stepping it up, we're getting a new location on Main Street for the museum, and we're going to make it. It's going to be bigger, and we're going to just invite everyone to come down to this killer museum where we have we'll have a lot more things going on, and it'll just be bigger and better, and we're just going to have it be a destination for all these surf fans from all over. Hopefully they'll be coming from LA, and they'll stop by Huntington on the way to San Clemente.
Yeah, why not?
We can't be like sad or bummed. I mean, it's still good that they're doing the Olympics at all. We're having it here, and it'll be great to have it. And they're going to have, hopefully, just a huge amount of people coming down, looking at wanting to watch the whole surf scene in Southern California. yeah, it's pretty incredible, the whole thing, when you think about it. There's a lot of money involved and a lot of people just coming down here and checking, wanting to see the surf scene.
Yeah, definitely. And first of all, yes, I agree with you. It's going to be a very important moment for the museum. California, of course, the sport of the state is surf. All right, so that's another thing. And so far, surfing the Olympic was not very lucky because the first event was in Tokyo, but there was a COVID, so no people were allowed. The second event was in Tahiti, where first it takes a lifetime to reach Tahiti. Second, people were still not allowed on the beach. So I don't know about lower travelers if they can stop the amount of people, because now we go back to the one of the major points of surfing all over the world. So there's going to be a lot of tourists. There's going to be a lot of locals just going there, and it will be very difficult for the organization to say no. We don't want people on the beaches.
Yeah. I wonder, they must, maybe they're going to put a bunch of bleachers up, and probably, but at a certain level, they're going to have to stop people from coming there. I know there's a huge security thing where they have they'll have it blocked off, you have to go through major security to even get in.
Yeah, of course, that's normal.
So I don't know how, yeah, I'm not sure. It will be interesting. I mean, definitely it's going to be a historical moment, there at Trestles out there watching the lower Trestles. Hopefully, I just hope we've got really good waves for it.
I'm sure, and you never know, because you see, look at the Chopu, it was supposed to be pumping and whatnot. Of course, there was that classic now photo of Gabriel Medina,
Yeah.
the surfboard and the wave. Of course, that day was pumping, but like for many other days, it was not pumping like Chopu should. And not like now, when there is, like we see it, there is the Tahiti Pro, and it's fantastic. And so, you never know. The sea is it can give a lot of good surprises, but also flat days. So that's the beauty about it.
Yeah. Well, it was interesting. The U.S. Open in Huntington this summer, it was big the week before, and then right in the middle of the week, it got completely flat.
Wow.
And they actually, the first time ever, pretty sure it's the first time ever, they canceled the contest. It was too small. I've never heard of that happening, but they actually canceled it. But what's interesting, then it got big again for the finals and the weekend. So yeah, you just never know. For the Olympics, what was interesting is they were planning on having the contest on the north side for the Olympics, which hasn't been a really big contest on the north side since the Caton back in the day, which was a really good place to have contests in Huntington because north side is really pretty consistent. And it would have been, I don't know, I was kind of stoked. I was interested in that. I was excited about that, to have the whole world come there and see north side, have all the bleachers up, and they're going to build this whole deal. It would have, I mean, I know it's not going to happen, but maybe one day they'll start doing that again. But to have contests on north side in Huntington, a lot of people in Huntington, they only surf north side, so it's kind of weird when they always have the contest on south side, and it's a little bit different,
And going back to the US Pro, I saw that you did it was a poster or a painting, the one for the contest. I think I saw something in Instagram, right?
For the U.S. Open?
Yes, for the Huntington Pro. Was it? No, did I make a mistake? No.
I can't remember. Maybe I do. Maybe I do too much. I can't remember.
Oh, I confused myself. Okay.
We do. Well, I do a Surfside 70s contest. We've been doing for 27 years now. Maybe that's what you saw. I do posters for that every year. We do art and T-shirts for the Surfside 70s. But that was we did a thing on MR this year. I can't remember.
Okay.
I don't think I did anything for the U.S. Open.
I got confused. But until now, what was the most challenging piece of art you ever done it, and which medium was that? Was it like a painting or something else? Sculpture, maybe.
The most challenging, I think it probably there's one that I did for an exhibit. It was an exhibit of the history of the OP Pro, and I did a painting, and it was a pretty tall painting. And what I wanted to do was encompass the whole idea of the OP Pro. And remember, the OP Pro was really well known, big deal in the 80s and 90s. And so what I wanted to do was get every champion of the OP Pro into the one painting.
Oh,
And so I have the whole, but I get to also get the crowd. So I have the whole crowd, I get the whole pier, and I have Curran surfing in it, and then Shane Horan's on the beach walking. Then I have every champ who has ever won it on the beach mixed into the crowd, and then I have a big, huge crowd all around. That was probably my most challenging. It was a combination of it was a drawing under undercoat, and then I painted over it, and yeah, I love how that one turned out. I kind of like was maybe took on too much, but that's the kind of thing probably influenced by Phil Roberts, because like when you think about it, what he attempts like is so beyond what most artists would even think of in the first place. And so I'm like, if you know what, he would put all these people in a painting, I could do it. So that was probably my most challenging. It's in the museum right now. if if you want to go check it out, it's in there.
because it was so difficult to realize that it needs to stay in the museum for being preserved for and shared as well, to the public. And I think like the for an artist, picking up a subject, it's kind of a complicated thing, right? I mean, of course, there are a lot of things that popping up in idea, and you can do sketches, and that's okay, normal for an artist. But once you have a subject and you want to translate what is in your brain, what is in your mind, into something visible to everybody, is absolutely challenging, difficult, or for you it's like very, 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 very easy to translate.
Well, a lot of times when you have it in your head what you want to do, and then it changes as you're doing it. It could be, oh man, this is not how I expected it, or this is but usually you can evolve it into something even more than you expect. And that's what's fun about it. As you're doing it, you're like, whoa, that turned out good. And then you add to it, and it becomes more than what you think, because until you do it, you don't really understand, or you don't know exactly how it's going to turn out. And especially with painting, sometimes with painting, things end up showing up like just through the process. Whoa, that's interesting, and it just adds to it, and then it's just so fun. Art is amazing that way. And with oil paint, what I'm finding more and more is with water. When you're painting water with oil paint, oil paint can really mimic water, by just the action of the oil paint coming together and mixing. There's all these, and water is incredible. And I think a lot of even the most famous artists of all time, like Monet, would paint water over and over again, the reflections and even looking under the water. Phil Roberts does that a lot, looking under, seeing underneath. This guy, Matt Beard, a friend of mine, he does the same thing. You're looking underneath, you see the top of the water, but then you can see under it. When you're surfing, you see all these things at once, but when you're painting it, Monet has this quote that he can drive himself crazy, actually looking at all of the reflections on top of the water, under the water, and then even, the sun, how it reflects and how it changes. You actually can go crazy trying to look at all the different things in water. So, it's just an amazing thing. Yeah, it's fun.
I mean, it's fun for an artist, yes. For maybe a normal person that is not an artist, it can be like considered as an addiction. to go to the layer of the waters or of the sky or the ocean. But in fact, it's like it's important, to explain, like to people that they might see a painting and they say, "Oh, okay," it's like painting is a composition of several ideas, layer after the other, and a lot of changes while doing the painting. And it's not like a chat GPT thing that it creates in 3 seconds and can be destroyed and recreated in another 3 seconds. It is something that requires a lot of work, and you don't arrive at the middle of the painting and you can just erase it and start again. You have to, I mean, yes, you have to erase it and start again. You cannot correct it, I would say. So there is a huge work, and of course, the hand of the artist have to be respected, because at the end, it's quite complex. In fact, a lot of us they cannot even draw, like me. But that's another story. But
Yeah, well, there's a lot of, it's interesting, when I do a painting now, it's completely different than when I was doing painting when I was 20 years old. And so a lot of people say, how long did that take? That's a really kind of like a basic question you always get. How long did it take you to do that? And somebody said this quote, but I don't forget who it was, but it's not even how long it took. Well, took me, 57 years to be able to do that. I mean, that's how old you are as an artist. That's you always are learning all these things. So you couldn't have done it when you were younger. Now I could do it because I learned all these other things.
no, totally, totally. I can relate, and an artist can be an artist for all his life without doing anything. Also, because for himself, maybe that piece of art is not yet, I'd say, 100% ready, to release it to the world, And so,
Yeah.
fantastic artists that were like super good, but until they're that, nothing has been released, or very few things, because they didn't believe their art was enough good to be out there, while it was excellent and superb. So it's like it's difficult to be an artist, for sure. It's difficult to be inside the mind of an artist. I guess it's a very
Yeah.
place. You said it a couple of times. You're working for the International Surfing Museum of Huntington Beach. You are in the board. But what is the next project that you are working on? Something that you can share, or top secret?
Well, I'm working on a lot of things actually. I'm happy to be super busy. I've got to figure out how to get it all done. But right now, I'm doing a painting of David Nueva for. They're having a fundraiser for David. He just had a medical
Yeah.
procedure and things. He's doing good, but we're doing a fundraiser for him. PT is organizing it, and that's going to be at the end of this month. And I'm doing the classic, David Nueva on the nose.
Oh, wow.
The shot. I mean, it's like the shot. He's on the nose, leaning back. I'm gonna do that in color, and then we're gonna auction off different things, and we're gonna give out prints of that. And I'm gonna give the painting to David, and hopefully we'll get enough people to come into this event and to help pay for his expenses. That's one project, and then I'm doing a T-shirt art for the 100 years of lifeguarding in Huntington Beach.
Okay, that's
So I'm gonna have surf stuff in there, and like a historical viewpoint of the pier and all the things going on, trying to like mix history and what different things that used to be happening at the pier, and like with Huntington history, some of the first surfers were actually lifeguards. Bud Higgins and Gene Belshie, there are these famous lifeguards and surfers. So we're going to mix all that together, and that's coming up. And like I was saying before, for the exhibit, the new exhibit, we're moving to the library, the old Main Street Library in Huntington Beach on Main Street. That's the big new thing. It'll be happening in 2026. It's going to be an incredible new exhibit on the 50th. There'll be the 50th anniversary of the WSL or Professional World Surfing. And what's kind of cool is that, PT is the first world champ, and so he is the president, or he's in charge of the museum. So he'll be writing the history, and he's a good writer, and he's a great historian. He knows every tidbit of history through all this time, and even before the first world tour, which was when he won, was 76. Before that, he talks about the Gypsy Tour, he calls it, where these guys were just going around the world, surfing in different contests. It really wasn't a tour. It was just kind of like finding places to surf, and they all put it together to create the first world tour. So it's great being able to work with him and learning so much history at the same time.
That's fantastic. So you keep yourself busy, but at the same time, you are enriching yourself of surf culture. So I guess it's a fantastic duo. We're gonna finish our interview with a short Q&A session. So since you have listened to some of the episode already, you are familiar with the question that I ask to everyone on the show. So please answer the first thing that comes up to your mind. Okay?
Okay.
Best surfboard that you ever rode.
Best surfboard, my first surfboard, Hurley IPD 5.8. It's a single fin, and I got it in 1981.
Wow, nice. Your favorite shaper of all time?
Favorite shaper of all time, Tim Stamps. He always helps us with the recreation of a 1970s board for our Surfside 70s. And he's amazing. He just did an MR twin fin replica for the same board that MR was riding in Free Ride for the winter, and they just won it this summer.
Okay, nice. Personal question: your favorite song or kind of music?
My favorite band is the Rolling Stones,
Nice.
and I don't know why, but it always just gets me in the best mood. And favorite song, Sway. I think Sway is my favorite from the Stones. Yeah, that always gets me in that mood. Yeah.
Okay, that's nice. I like Rolling Stones as well, so that's definitely a good choice. Favorite surf spot, if it's not a secret?
That's not a secret.
Yeah.
Um, favorite surf spot in the whole world?
Yeah.
What? I think Scorpion Bay. Yeah, it's a beautiful spot, and when I've been there, there's been nobody out, and just a long ride, and plus you're in Mexico, so it's like you're in paradise.
Okay.
Get a nice cold beer after.
Okay. Oh, that's good. It's a plus for sure. Favorite surfer of all time?
Favorite surfer, I think Tom Curran. Just his style is. I think he just changed surfing. Amazing, creative surfer. Like I said, I think everything changed after his style came out. Early '80s, everybody wanted to surf like Curran in my time, and even today. I mean, I don't know if anybody else quite has such a perfect style.
Hey, the style and that went into the icon, even the board, the Black Beauty was iconic board. So it's definitely, yeah, was everything. It's more than just like surfer, like the relationship with Almeric and all the development that start with that, like it's fantastic. I mean, we can talk thousands of hours of Tom Curran, but yeah, I agree with you. There's actually a nice book done by Jimmy Matico about
Oh yeah,
Curran and Almeric at that time, and it's very, very nice.
yeah, it's really good.
So the last question is a little bit unusual. I like to know your best relationship advice. When with relationship, you can answer me a relationship with the ocean, friendship, romantic, whatever you like.
Relationship advice, yeah, just stay true to it. Like if your relationship with whatever it is, just stay true and involved and never give up. And with the ocean, you just got to keep going in and keep trying. Whatever you need to do, you know what you need to do to make it work, and you just make it work. And you gotta work hard, and it will all be beautiful in the end, as long as you know yourself, you know what you need to do, and you just work hard and stay true to what's right, and it'll all be good. All you can do is do your best.
Definitely. I totally agree with you. Thank you, Mr. Blake, for being on with me today. And I look forward to talk to you very soon.
All right. Thank you so much. This was really fun.
Thanks. Bye-bye. See you soon.
Okay. Bye.
Hi, it's me again. I hope you enjoyed our today's episode. If you want to know more about us, please follow www.thetempleofsurf.com and all our social media. Mahalo!